Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Every day we're doing more explorations, going town to town, but some videos you have to do some repairs and some installations. By the way, if you don't know me, I'm Ricky from the Smalls RV Adventures, and we travel the whole United States in our SUV, tent camping, and with our RV. As I was saying, sometimes you have to take a break and take some installation. So right now we in the shop and I'm gonna install this Seaflow 12-volt water pump into the car. I'm gonna show you the tools that I'm gonna need for the installation. Quick and really simple, but I just wanna take you guys through it. And this is from Seaflow. So this is a really good product. Also have the Nerzivi solar panel 200 watt. That's down below right there. We're gonna show you guys how that works in a later video, but I just wanted to show it off right now so that you can see it. But let's get started installing this water pump. We're actually going to replace the water pump that's already in here that stopped working. So let's get it. Talking too much. Let me show you the equipment that we're going to use. I'm going to set that up there just like that. So some of the equipment that we're going to use is going to be wire crimpers. We have a Phillips screwdriver. We have some wire shrink. We have some terminal connectors. We have wire cutters. We have a small drill just to set up the pump. So what I do from the very beginning is I just shut off the power inside. Of course, I'm going to eat in here a little bit later, but I'm going to shut off the power inside the vehicle before I start cutting up the wires. All right, so down below here, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but there's a circuit breaker here. I'm going to press it in and watch the level of the power go down. So once that power is off, I test the system by turning on the inverter, which is over here, and get the last bit of power out of that system. Now, getting that power out of the system is very important because you don't want to get shocked. Even though 12 volt won't hurt you, you still want to make sure that all of that power is out of those wires. So let's get started with this installation now. Okay, this is where the old pump is located and it stopped working. So I'm not going to throw it out. You see it still has the tag there. It says brand new, water inside. You know, it's tested, but it just stopped working. It's not pumping the water. So I'm just going to remove that and then we're going to install a new one. I'm going to go ahead and show you these in parts because I'm going to use this flathead screwdriver just to loosen up the crimps on this first pump, just to get this hose off. And then once the hose comes off, which is going to be like a little hard, don't want to cut it off, which I can. But if I can't pull it off, I'll just cut it off. Ooh, that's on there really tight. Maybe I just cut it off. My wires are pretty long, so I can cut off some bits of this and still have a decent amount for the pump. So I can just cut a piece off here. Let's go, baby, let's go. There we go, we have one off. I just set that aside. And I know that this is like really hard to, let's see if I can get this one. This one is at a weird angle. I'm going to get it, don't you worry. Just got to loosen that up a bit just so that it can come off. And once I loosen this side up, and I can get this crimp a little lower so that it's on the part that I want to use a little bit better. So as soon as I can get this down a little bit and I can get some of this hose exposed, I can cut that off too. So here's the outlet line. Actually, this is the inflow on this side. Just cut that off. Bang. Now that's off. Now I got two right there. Now I can cut the power line. Make sure all the power is off. All the power is off. So I cut the power line here. That's off. And this side is off. So the pump is now free. And this next step, all I'm going to do is unscrew the nails from the pump here so that it can come off. Again, this is all screwed on to a backing. It's a wood backing behind this that I put on. So now this pump is free. So this can come right off. This can come right off. I forgot I also put, oh, it's water in there. I also put a little wire here just to hold this together, but I can open that up and take this wire right out of there. Nice and simple. Of course, it's going to give me a hard time to come out, but there it is. Here's the pump off. I just want to remind you guys, I'm filming this as I'm doing it. So all the content creators that are filming their projects as they're doing it, I want you to know it's very difficult and it takes a little bit more time because you're stopping the film, you're speeding the film up, you're explaining what you have to do. So just bear with us. Sometimes you get these videos where you're doing the installation, but it's all for the great benefits so that you can do it yourself and you can save yourself some money and you can go on some cool trips as well. What I'm doing now is I'm going to fix a board that's a little stronger so that it can hold the pump, because this pump is stronger than the other one. It's a little bit heavier. So first we want to get this pump in there, and then we also want to see if the door will close without any interference with the pump, which I think it will, but it's always a testing out. So let's get started with the installation of the pump now. So we're going to try to get this installed right about here. If I can get this in there, we'll see. All right, that got in there. That's number one. Now we have to try number two. Let's get it on this side over here so we have even footing. I mean, this is pretty cool doing these installations because everybody gets to learn how to do these things. And on the instruction manual, it says not to put these down too tight. Ooh, where did that one go? You don't want these things dropping and you don't find it and it goes in your tire. You don't want that. No, you don't. So it said don't put them too tight because the vibration of the pump. This is like a strong pump too. So it has to have room to maneuver. So that's probably why it said not to put it down too tight, which I'll not bother to do because, like I said, you know, on this other side, my bed, it is back there. So let me loosen this one up just a little, not too much, because my bed is back there and I don't want to pinch my bed with the nail. So that one is okay. So now we're up to connecting the wires together, the red with the red, the black with the black. So let's get started with that. So now to connect the wires together, we're going to use some butt connectors. They're very simple to use. You know, you just have to make sure you crimp everything together. Make sure you have a lot of them because sometimes the crimps don't hold and you got to do it again. And while I'm doing that, I like to get the shrink tubing on before I start, because once you put the wires on, it's hard to go back to put the shrink tube in over it. So I like to put it on before we start. So got butt connectors and shrink tubing. So I like to put the shrink tubing over the wire first. Of course, I dropped one. It's okay, I saw where it went. I put that all the way in. So I know I have that. And the other one is here. Put it over the red wire. And one good thing about these things is that they're already, the wire's already exposed to copper. So all I have to do is see if it fits inside of my wire crimp. And if it fits, we're good to go. So we just put this inside of here. Again, we stick it in as far as we can get it in. Further in, the better. You got to get all the wire in there. And then we take our crimper, stick your crimper in there, and you want to make sure when you're crimping this wire, you get everything exposed in there. Then give it a tug. Make sure it's in there. You have to make sure it's seated in there. And then we take the red from the battery lead. And again, I'm using 12 gauge wire. This looks like it's maybe a 14 gauge wire. And then we're just gonna stick this in there and crimp this in. Again, you want to try to get as much of that wire inside of there so that nothing is exposed. And then you crimp it in. And then after you crimp it in, you want to make sure it's in there, because if it comes out, you'd have to do it over. So I take this up here just like that to cover the wire. And then you have your shrink tube in there. And you have to get a lighter and close up your shrink tubing. After I do this, I put a little bit of, I like to put electrical tape around it just to seal it up a little bit more. But this is fine enough to do it like this. And then you repeat the process for the black wire. Now that all the wires are crimped and installed, I like to put electrical tape over the shrink tubing. Again, this is unnecessary. It's an extra step, but it's just something that I always do. It's just for safety. You don't need to do it, but I always like to do it just for a little extra safety. And again, this is just an extra step, extra precautionary step. You already have the wires covered, you have the shrink tubing, and this is only 12 volts, so it won't hurt you. But I still like to secure my wiring by putting this electrical tape around it. When I'm teaching my kids about doing this, I do the same thing. Like, you use your shrink tubing, but you can also use electrical tape. Like when, let's say, if I do allow them to do it, you know, shrink tape, you have to use fire or something hot. I won't let them use anything hot. So the electrical tape is like a better option for them to use instead of that. So now this is installed. So now what I do to get these wires out of the way so I have room to do all my plumbing is that I can take the wires here. I don't know if the camera angle is going to show. And then I can nail that back to the board like it was before. So I just put my nail back in the system here, the drill, and I can just easily nail this back into the board. And again, I always try to check to make sure it's not going into the back. And I don't like to screw it in too tight because I don't want to pinch these wires here together. So these wires are secure and they'll stay right there, and I don't have to worry about anything pinching them or grabbing onto this hook as I take stuff in and out of the car. So it's a little better for me. And if something comes loose, I can easily fix it. Now with all these models, you're gonna have something called, let me see if you can see it in here. Do I have to raise it up just a little bit? No, you can see it, it's right there. You have something called a strainer. It's like a filter for the pump. So what I like to do is I like to pour a little bit of water, which you don't have to, but I like to do it. And I like to get that water inside of here. So let's see if I can get this on without removing everything, because I can see that it may have an issue. Oh, I may be able to get it on without removing anything. You just twist this on, which is really good. And I like this to stay in like the up position. If I can get it there, I don't know. I don't want it to be too close to this where it's banging on it, where it will crack it. But yeah, that's good. And then you have another outlet here, because this water, the water is going to be coming in, and you want the strainer to where the water will be coming in. So once that's tight, I want to see how all this fits on without using water tape. If I need to use water tape, I'll use the water tape. Doesn't really matter to me. And then this is the water coming in from the pump. So usually that's coming in. So you have to install this here. Let me move the camera over so you can see this angle that I'm at now, because I'm at a slightly different angle. Here you go. So I have to put the water from the holding tank onto this. So here's the water from the holding tank. I got to get it on the tube, and please tell me this tube fits. If it doesn't fit, I'm going to have to get a wider tube, which that's what it looks like I'm going to do. So I have to continue this a little bit later once I get a wider tube. I didn't check that before I bought it. That's my fault, but I can go ahead and do that. All right, we're on our way to Lowe's. I had to leave the shop. Sometimes these things happen when the hose from the previous pump don't fit the hose from the current pump. And that was my fault that I didn't check out the sizes. But going to Lowe's, they have everything over there, hopefully. So we're going to see if they got our size. We got the whole car packed up. Everybody wanted to come. So we all in the car. Y'all want to say hi to everybody before we go to Lowe's? These are going to be your future installers for all your electrical RV needs. So I'll check back at you when I get to Lowe's. We need a fixture. Sorry about the wind. Shouldn't be in too much longer. So as we find a fixture, we go back to the shop to install the hose. All right, so here are some of the hoses that we can try for the fittings, different fittings. All right, so I picked up some reinforced hole, inside diameter of 1/2 inch, outside diameter of 3/4, 10 feet long, and also picked up another female ending of a hose with a 3/4 inch inlet and a 1/2 inch barb. So here it is right here. And I checked to see if everything fits. So we're going to go and finish the installation now. Right now, I picked up some more clamps just in case the clamps that I have don't fit. So these ones fit around, have extra room just in case I have to upsize the hoses a little more. All right, now we have the proper size hoses. We can clamp these on. These are a little twist that I took to the store. I'm gonna twist these on here again. We're doing this without water tape just so I can see if it seals tightly. It should seal. It looks like it seals rather nicely, like onto the fixture without much force, but we can see. And here's the bob, the hose, and we're gonna push this right in there. Again, this is like a tight fix too, but that goes right in there. You're gonna get it in there. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera feed. You get it in the most that it can go. And then I have my screwdriver here. We're gonna get this over it here, and we tighten this fixture up over it. And what I like to do, like if the hose is a little bit bigger than the fixture, I like to clamp it up really tight as I can. Sometimes I even use a drill and just slightly drilled this clamp on here so that it has a waterproof seal. Do these with the pulls too. Again, it's not going to be extra tight, but you want it to seal in there. So sorry if I'm all up in your face as I get this in, but this is what you got to go through when you're doing some of these installations here. See, this is tight here. Yeah, I'm all up in there, and it's really tight as I got all the way in there. Let me see if I can get one more turn in. Yeah, that's good enough. So that's one side sealed in. Now, as for the other side, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge, because look how the barb is here, the hose. So what I have to do is dry out the other hose. So let me do that and come right back. Right, for this clip, I'm going to be all up in your face because I got to get this onto here. So, oh, I forgot to take the sticker off for this one. So what you do is you take your sticker off, and I want to make sure that this part is out facing me so that when I put it in, so I'm going to try to, oh, this is going to be a little hard. I mean, this can adjust a little bit, and then I can push it in once it's in. Okay, get your butt in there. Sorry, I'm blocking the camera a little bit, but I have to like maneuver this to get it in. And again, if you guys want to know, the hose, it's 10 feet. I think I said it when I bought it that it was only 10 feet of hose. This is what they had. I would like to get like a longer piece, but that's all they had. All right, so now I'm going to tighten this piece up and see how everything goes. Hopefully everything goes fine. That's when I was at the store. Someone helped me find the correct size because I wasn't too sure with the inside diameter and the outside diameter. It was all abbreviated, and I'm new to all of this and I'm learning. So some things I may not be doing right. I learn as I go. I watch other YouTube channels to see how they do things, and then I follow along and I learn on my own. And that's how I learn. And this is the second pump that I'm installing, and I'm just hoping that everything goes through well with it. If not, we just go through some troubleshooting to get everything working the right way, which I think is rather easy. The troubleshooting is easy, and what usually happens is that either you don't have power, so you troubleshoot the power, or you have a leaking issue. And I'm anticipating one leaking issue because I bought the wrong piece. I bought a female ending for the guarding hose attachment when I was supposed to buy the male ending. So I had to use the one that I hadn't had, and that's this piece right here. So if anything is going to leak, it's going to be right here, this part right here. But I'm hoping it doesn't, but we'll see. I have it outside of the car just to check. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to feed some water inside of the pump before I cut the power back on. And that's rather easy to do because all I do, oh, sorry about that, almost knocked this down, is I just put a little bit of water inside of here. You don't need that much. And I feed it through the line. You can see the water as it goes through the line. Come on, get in there. You can see exactly how far it goes down. And then once I get it in there, I gotta pull that out just a little bit again. Okay, now I can see that water. We'll tighten that up a little bit more. Once I see that water in that line there, I know that it's wet. And sometimes the way that this thing works is that it likes to be wet before it starts pulling water out. I don't know why, but that's how some of these contraptions work here. They like to feel water. And then a lot of time these lines don't full out until everything is on. So now let me cut the power back on and see if everything is running. Use the mess in here. The power is back on. So now I'm gonna see if the pump is working and there's no leaks. Okay, now I'm gonna cut the water on and see if there's any leaks or if it's working. Okay, I can hear it. Let's see. Okay, we got running water again. It's working. Now let's check for leaks. Okay, I did have a small leak over here. So all I did was put 2 of these clamps on. I did that before when I was working with the pools, installing pools and the plumbing for that. So I put 2 clamps on. Again, this barb is too small for the hose. So if you put like 2 barbs to like clamp it down extra, it's a fixture that will work. You just have to keep checking it. But I have to get the fixture that is the one for this hose, but this works for now. The pump is on right now, and I checked it for leaks, and there's no leaks. The pump is on. You don't hear it, but let's go back around to the back, and I can show you that it is working. So here it is spraying out, and then you cut it off. Here it is again, spreading out, and then you cut it off. So it is working. Let me put that down right there, and I go check for leaks again. No leaks. This wetness is from before, so there's no leaks. So we'll just leave that there for now and check it again a little bit later. But here it is, the C-Flow pump installed. Here's the filter, the fixtures that came with it. It's really nice. They stay right on, and I didn't have to use any water tape, which is really good. I secured the water lines with these clamps here, and they work well, no dripping water, so that's fine as well. Again, this pump is on right now. I have it on, and you don't hear any noise from it. And when it's activated, you don't hear any noise, which is like really good. I hooked it up to a switch so that it works well. So there you go, folks. Hooked up the C-Flow water pump, 12 volt, in the car so I could have running water wherever I go. And it's pretty cool just to have that. Again, ran into some little issues with the hose that I had. It wasn't big enough for the fixtures. For the pump, it was like a half-inch inside diameter and a 5/8 outside. So it was like a 5/8 inside, 1/2 outside. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know it fit. And once I got those fitting in there, it worked really well. And again, it's hooked up on a switch inside of the car. C-Flow 12 volt water pump installed inside of the car. Sorry about the boring video. Sorry about the troubleshooting, but it happens. It happens to you. You know how to fix it. Smalls RV Adventures out. Make sure you check out our Smalls RV Adventures shop on Amazon. Smalls RV Adventures out. See you later, everybody. Thanks for watching.